Hey Diz, let's talk about the cognitive health crisis, or the mind crisis. Today I'm going to focus in on the left, but to begin, just as a reminder, my main contention is that at this time, all political ideologies are reproducing social and emotional patterns that mutually inoculate the population from being able to contest the power of elites. Among Republicans, that social emotional pattern is paranoia. Among liberals, it is contempt. Among the apolitical, it is apathy. Among the left, it's bitterness. And of course, all of that is an oversimplification. As individuals, many of these different patterns affect us, but generally speaking, bitterness neutralizes the left. And by bitterness, I'm talking about a phenomena that has grown out of the frustration of perceptions of powerlessness. In particular, the left is bitter about how they've been gate-kept out of the political conversation. Their ideas are too wild-eyed. They don't belong among serious people. And so my contention is that these social emotional patterns mutually neutralize each other and keep the elite, specifically in such a way that affects our cognition, that affects our ability to know, to be aware, to learn, to perceive, to reason, to problem solve, to imagine, to judge. These social, emotional patterns undermine our ability to use our minds effectively to fight power. In today's clip, we've got this guy, an influencer farming while Beige. He owns a farm in Virginia, south of DC, called Blackbird Co-op. And he has a project where he's trying to reach out to people, warn them that in 10 years, a lot of the farmers are going to retire, and there's going to be a huge opportunity for the billionaires, our enemies, to control more of our food supply, a significant increase in their control of our food supply. He doesn't cherry-coat it. He admits up front, hey, if you're going to do this and be successful, you're going to have to be a little psychotic. Awesome. Charismatic, intelligent, the type of person that if the left was driven by strategy and sanity, he wouldn't feel compelled to defend his purchase of a Chick-fil-A sandwich or whatever it is he bought at Chick-fil-A. So here's the clip.
Chick-fil-A doesn't get to do Chick-fil-A things because I spent $17 there feeding myself and a homeless guy that happened to be there. Chick-fil-A gets to do Chick-fil-A things because the energy that the left and progressives should be spending on organizing is instead expended policing other leftists and progressives for petty transgressions. Here, let me show you something depressing. This is a map of Turning Point USA chapters in high schools all across the country. There are 900 of them, more than 900 of them, and many of them are in blue, highly populated areas. We might be laughing because there's a schism between the Ben Shapiro wing and the Tucker Carlson wing of the right now as they battle for the soul of the right wing as Donald Trump's demise seems inevitable. But as we chuckle at them arguing at each other at their conference, the conference is underpinned by this. The left and progressives don't have anything like this.
Here is a good place to apply the framework that I'm advocating for. I would argue it's not that the left isn't organized in this way because it's too busy nitpicking at each other. Instead, the left nitpicks at each other because all forms of its ability to resist power have been effectively undermined from the inside and from outside over the last 100 years, intensifying over the last 50 years. It's been this process of pushing the left to be increasingly irrelevant. And it is in response to this irrelevant, weak position that many leftists have resorted to this type of puritanism. It's a form of coping. It works on multiple levels, as an individual, at a population statistic level, and also consciously this is being encouraged through psychological operations. But I don't want to get into that here.
Instead, what we've got is my afternoon snack being characterized as high treason by someone who is lending their eyeballs to TikTok, which is owned by the biggest donors of the most openly anti-trans president perhaps in history. Now, as soon as somebody puts together targeted, organized boycotts that focus economic power at organizations at specific times and specific reasons with a specific plan, I will be there. But that's probably not going to happen because, again, we have a crabs in a barrel mentality, especially if one of those crabs happens to be black. The delusion of ethical consumption under capitalism is not going to take the place of organizing. Hope that helps.
So there you go. As he puts it, the left would be better suited to be organizing against power, against entrenched economic power. Here we are in the midst of a system where, from the left perspective, the nation has been captured by a rather obviously criminal class. Our current president is starving the people of Cuba, kidnapping Venezuelan president, entering into a war with Iran that even from the American empire perspective looks stupid, but probably will be enriching him and his family, experimenting with the bounds of the police state, which maybe currently is in a cold phase, but will probably not be remaining in a cold phase, is clearly interested in stealing elections and locking this country into a type of authoritarianism. But enough people on the left think that this is a smart time to focus on whether someone's eating Chick-fil-A that this guy feels he has to respond. So my contention is that this type of self-destructive, performative Puritanism is driven primarily by bitterness, by frustration of powerlessness, by ressentiment. And of course there can be other things involved. Paranoia can be involved. Apathy can be involved. Contempt can be involved. But I think that the main social emotional driver that neutralizes the left is bitterness. And one thing maybe we can explore in the future is how both bitterness or feelings of being frustrated at powerlessness by leftists and contempt or smugness by liberals are both rather off-putting relative to the paranoia of the right, which is relatively much more attractive to lonely people looking to make a connection.